in matters of salvation, faith, and life.
proclaiming and contending for the Christian faith,
Understanding the Bible in its simplest sense.
truth through the lens of the Holy Scriptures.
I'm Randy Marshadash.
And I'm Team Duhay Longsod, and you're watching Truth in Focus.
Another also, aside from the singularity, the self-existence of God, thirdly is yung incomprehensibility of God. Ano ibig sabihin ng incomprehensibility? Again, you could check sa book ni Herman Bavinck, dun sa kanyang sinulat sa The Doctrine of God. Diniscuss niya itong subject na ito, incomprehensibility of God. Ano ibig sabihin nito? It simply means the mystery of God. Lahat po ng misteryo sa buong scriptures, sa buong Biblia, nalatag na. Ang misteryo ng Diyos na naging tao, kasi may mga ibang grupo, may mga ibang nagtuturo ng religion na sinasabi na meron pang mga misteryo na hindi pa isiniwalat ng Biblia o hindi pa natin nakikita. Actually, sinabi na ni Apostle Paul na ang mysteries ng sanglibutan inilatag na sa magitan ng Ebanghelyo ni Kristo. Ang hindi pa lamang nailalatag at hindi natin malalaman ay ang misteryo ng Diyos, ang kanyang pinanggubulan, pinanggalingan, kung ano siya. Pero this talks about His essence. His essence cannot be comprehended by any created being.
Gaano man katalino.
Yes, gaano man katalino. Kaya nga yung pinagpipilitan lalo na ng mga atheists na they argue about that God does not exist, and if God really exists, where's the proof of it? Well, kahit ano pong gawin ng tao, kahit sino pinakamatalino tao nga sa nabanggit mo kanina, walang makakapag-prove sa essence o makakakita sa essence ng Diyos sapagkat siya ay Diyos. Sapagkat kung siya ay kaya palang i-resolve ng tao o makukompute ng tao lahat ng kabuuan ng Diyos, mas matalino pa ang tao kaysa sa Diyos. So, His essence cannot be comprehended but only by Himself. Ang Diyos lamang ang nakakaalam sa kanyang pagiging Diyos at kung sino siya. Walang tao na makakapag-conclude sa anumang bagay patungkol sa Diyos. None can understand fully what He is, though He had shown Himself to us through His Word, through signs and wonders, and through His Son. And pero again, we cannot fully know Him and understand Him, but only by Himself. Sabi nga sa Exodus chapter 3, verse 14, sabi niya, I am who I am. So, as He is in Himself. So, one may question, what is God? So, ano ang Diyos? Katulad sabi ng atheist. Simply, ang sagot doon, God is God. Yun lang yun. Simply, He is God and remains a mystery to us.
Yun ang sinagot niya kay Moses anong sasabihin ko sa mga tao pag tinanong ako kung sino ang nag-utos sa akin? Sabi na po yun, I am who I am.
I am who I am.
Napakalalim ang ibig sabihin. Ang ibig lang sabihin nun, yung sinasabi mo nga, that He is self-existence and is independent of anything else. Yung tanong mo kanina, who is God? He is God.
Yes, He is God. Yun lang yun. He is God, period. No questions asked. Yun na siya. So, He cannot be fully known by His creation. Only God knows Himself.
Of course, meron siyang He had revealed something of Himself,
Yes.
which is written. But there is a part of Him that remains, quote unquote,
mystery.
a mystery to us that
Oh.
no human being with all his intellect, with all his intelligence could fathom
Yeah.
who this God is.
So he cannot fully be known by his creation. Pinakilala niya kanyang sarili in part. So we have in part we know God, but fully knowing him, no.
At merong verse na napakagandang suporta dyan sa Deuteronomy 20:20, yun ang sinasabi. May mga bagay na inilahad nga niya na malaman natin, but the secret things belong to God.
Yes.
Yun ang sinasabi mo, Randy, na hindi talaga natin pwedeng fully comprehend who this God is.
Yes. Okay. So, aside from these three, na singularity, independence, self-existence of God, and incomprehensibility, may sinasabi rin ng scriptures about the spirituality of God. And siguro ang ating tanungin si Brad Tim regarding sa spirituality and
Okay. Now it's my turn to tackle one of the attributes of God, and this refers to the spirituality of God. Sinabi namin nung mga nakaraang episode na these things that are sometimes so theological to the layman, malamang baka hindi nila maintindihan. So what I will do, ang gagawin ko rito to talk about the spirituality of God is to discuss these matters pertaining God in a very straightforward na maintindihan ng kahit na pinaka layman in the faith. So, yung spirituality of God, when you base it on yung confession na binasa mo, napakahabang first paragraph ng confession na yun, Randy, nahahati sa 5 segments po yun regarding the spirituality of God. Ito yung pagkakasabi, a most pure spirit, invisible, without body, parts, or passions, who only have immortality, dwelling in the light which no man can approach unto. So kung inyo napapansin, may 5 bagay na sinasabi sa phrase na yun. Ito yung tatalakayan natin. Unang-una, ang unang sinabi doon is, ang Diyos pala na ito, na regarding His spirituality, He is non-material. Yun ang sinasabi, most pure spirit. Note or underline yung spirit. Sa John 4:24, declares very plainly, walang paligoy-ligoy. Sabi, God is spirit. Ano? To say that He's a most pure spirit, ang ibig pang sabihin nun is, ito siya walang kasalanan, without sin, and without material. He is impeccable as He is non-material. Pag sinabi ng impeccable, parang walang bahid ng kasamaan.
walang bahid ng karumihan.
Karumihan. Even though He is non-material, nevertheless, totoo siya. Existent siya. Sabi mo nga kanina, existent. Ibig lang sabihin nun, mga kaibigan, merong realidad beyond the material world na nakikita natin. Ano? Sinabi natin, may iba kasi, ang reality lang daw, yung nakikita natin. Hindi ho. When it terms with God, there is reality even beyond these material things that we see. God is not part of the material world, yet, totoo siya. Existent siya. Ano?
Hindi siya katang isip.
He's existent and He is pure. Yun ang qualification ng confession. And then, the next day says, He is invisible. In other words, simply put, He can't be seen by the human eye. Yun ang ibig sabihin. Pag sinabi natin invisible, hindi nakikita sa sarili nating mga mata, hindi siya pwedeng i-observe. Kasi, even in science, one of the tenets in science is, if it is observable, yun, totoo daw yun. In this case, spirit nga, hindi mo nakikita. Paano mo observe? So, you can't observe Him. That is what we mean by invisible. He cannot be observed.
So, medyo hati yung mga scientists, no, sa kanilang views, because there are scientists that say that there is no God because they don't find any evidence of God's existence.
Oo.
And at the same time, there are groups of scientists that says that na-explore na kasi nila ngayon yung outer universe. Sabi nila ngayon parang malapit na nilang makita kung saan ang tirahan o pinanggalingan ng Diyos.
Mukhang may duda ako na kinuha nila yon sa pagtuturo ni sino ba yung Stephen
Hawking.
Because he has this theory about the multiverse.
Multiverse.
Hindi lang itong universe na ating tinitirahan ang meron, marami pang universo somewhere. Which, again, ang katuruan na hindi po natin nakikita sa Bible. But anyway, let me continue, Randy, yung sinasabi. Nakuha na natin yung una at pangalawa. Itong pangatlo, he is non-corporeal. This means he is without body. Invisible nga eh. Walang body. Parts or passion. He is not like the pagan deities na ating naririnig o kinukwento na mayroong mga kapritsyo, may mga whims, na pag nagalit pag hindi mo naalayan nagpapakita ng mga tantrums.
Sila Zeus, sila Zeus and the gang.
Hindi lang sa extension ng ating pag-iisip na and consciousness so that man creates God in his own image. Baliktad na eh. Ang sinabi ng Bible, we were created in God's image. But yung ginagawa ng tao, God is created in what we conceive Him to be. Mali po yun. Mali po yun na katuruan. God do not possess a human body, parts or passions. Now, the word passions po rito does not mean that there is nothing in God which is reflective of human emotions. Dahil kung titignan natin yung Bible, nagpapakita naman na ang Diyos mismo nagagalit, nauuhaw. He is grieved. Now, these are expressions of emotions. So, when we say without passions, ang ibig lang sabihin nun he is not God. He's not like the pagan nga na magiging sinful din. Nagpapakita ng hindi magandang asal, parang ganon. So, hindi po ganon ang ibig sabihin ng passion. God has passions just like we do, but His passions are pure and without sin. Yun ang ibig sabihin nun. Then fourthly, He is non-mortal. Ano ibig sabihin? When the confession says that this God that we're talking about is non-mortal, this is a quotation from actually 1 Timothy 6:16. Who only, sabi ng Timothy, hath immortality. Now, what does that phrase mean in Timothy? This means he is non-mortal. Pero Brad, sasabihin, piniliwanag mo, circular definition naman yung ginawa mo. Immortality, non-mortal. Doesn't parang hindi tinutulungan yung audience or yung nakikinig para malaman ano bang ibig sabihin ng mortal. Ang ibig lang sabihin nun, he has life in and of himself and he can never cease to exist. Yun ang ibig sabihin ng non-mortality. Hindi katulad natin, there's a point in our life that matatapos ang ating existence dito sa mundong ito. Mawawala tayo sa mundong ibabaw. Sabi nga nila. Ang Panginoon walang ganon. Dahil immortal siya So number 5, the last thing they say, dwelling in light which no man can approach unto. This means he is unapproachable by mortal man. To see him, as we are humans, to see him, sabi ng Bible, mamamatay ka raw You will die. Because you cannot approach him, to see him in the flesh, and live at the same time, mamamatay ka raw, sabi na Bible. For you to be in the flesh and to see him, you will surely die. Now, note these 5 characteristics of the spirituality of God refers to Him or patungkol sa Kanya as He was always in eternity. Yung Trinity, itong katangian na sinabi natin, yung 5 Randy, ito yung katangian nila na sila mismo ganun nung eternidad pa, in eternity. However, we must recognize that this is not taking into account, hindi nasasakop sa usapin yung influensya ng incarnation upon the Son of God. Dahil sa incarnation, mga kapatid, at the incarnation, the Son of God did become visible. Yes. Nakita siya sa ating mga mata. He took to Himself a human body. So, there is a material thing that you can see in Him. He became mortal because He died in the cross. he did become approachable because he was amongst the people. These characteristics are called in Philippians 25:8, yung sinasabi sa mga theologians, morphe theo. Ang sabi niya, that he was in the form of God and yet he ceased to be non-corporeal. He ceased to be non-mortal, he ceased to be invisible, he ceased to be non-approachable when he became incarnate. Itong mga katangian ito nangyari nung naging tao.
Nagkatawang tao.
Nagkatawang tao ang Panginoong Hesus. The incarnation, by the way, refers only to the Son. It does not refer to the Father and the Spirit dahil yung second person lang ng Trinity ang naging or nagkatawang tao. So what the Father and the Son and the Spirit were, the Son in the incarnation, in one sense, ceased to be. Kumbaga natigil yung mga katangian yun nung naging tao ang Panginoong Hesus Kristo. He did not cease to be God, but He did cease to be non-mortal, non-visible, non-corporeal, non-approachable.
So, mabuti nabanggit mo yun, Brad, no? Kasi at least malinaw sa atin dahil ito yung contention ng iba na sinasabing, meron bang Diyos na nauhaw? Kasi nga, ang Diyos is, pag sinabi mong Diyos, pupunta doon sa character kanina na siya ay all-powerful, omnipotent, omnipresent, omniscient. Then all of a sudden, you will call this man, the name Jesus, na Diyos, na siya ay nauhaw, siya ay nagutom, siya ay nasaktan, siya ay pinako sa krus, siya ay namatay. Ito yung contention ng mga ibang grupo. Meron bang ganong Diyos? So, mabuti nalinaw mo yung part na yun.
Kasi yung kanilang mistake doon is they do not understand fully what the incarnation means. Or they even deny the incarnation. That is the basic defect there. Kasi nga, sa ating nalalamang katuruan, itong Diyos, na Diyos from the very beginning, walang pinagmulan, in one point in our time, He became man. Nonetheless, that He became man, nananatiling Diyos. So in our teaching, He is God, man. In their teaching, Jesus Christ is purely man. Now that we are saying that this God who became man, in one point became hungry, He was angry at one point, and He even died in one point, yun nami-miss nila, Randy, that yun ang sinasaad sa Bible, na itong tao, itong Diyos pala na ito na pre-existent, pumunta sa history, naging tao at namatay. That thing they deny. That's why I would understand yung kanilang katuruan. Kasi yung katuruan naman yun, like I said earlier, Arianism, since this God is a created God anyway, in their contention, edi ang conclusion doon, mapapagod ito, created ito. Magagalit ito, created lang. Ang hindi nila maintindihan, itong Diyos na siyang lumikha ng sanlibutan at lahat ng nasa sanlibutan naging tao, ang hindi ko maintindihan, bakit nila hindi maintindihan na ito ay maka-experience just like we do, He suffered just like we do. Because they deny the fact that nagkatawang tao ang Diyos, bagamat hindi niya iwinaksi ang kanyang pagka-Diyos.
Hindi na tayo magtataka siguro no? Kasi mismo kahit ang Diablo, nabigla sa plano na hindi niya alam na ang Diyos ibababa sa lupa at nagkatawang tao. So, kung ang Diablo na nga mismo, na kilala niya ang Diyos, nabigla sa point of history na kung saan bumaba ang Diyos sa nagkatawang tao na sa pangalang Hesukristo, mas lalo na tayong tao na hindi man lang nakita o nakarating doon sa luklukan ng Diyos.
But at least now, we understand bakit ganun na lang ang kanilang paniwala. There is some defect sa palagay ko, ang kanilang pag-interpret kung ano na nasasaad sa Bible. But let us go on, Randy. Natapos natin yung spirituality. Now we come to the infinity of God. Ang pagkakasabi sa confession ay ganito: who is immutable, immense, eternal, incomprehensible, almighty, every way infinite, most holy, most wise, most free, most absolute. if you notice, the way the confession is worded, napakaraming quote-unquote description doon. And we have, again, to unpack itong statement na ito in the most simplest way that we can, so that our audience and all who are listening to us could at least understand what we are saying. Here we have a general statement in the middle of what I have read. Every way infinite. Sa lahat ng bagay, infinite sa Tagalog, Randy.
Hindi ko ano yung accurate na term eh.
But that's why, that's how it is said. Every way infinite daw. Nasa pagitan po yun sa mahabang statement na sinabi ko kanina. There are, however, 9 specific things in which God surpasses all limitations. Infinite, parang walang pinutuban sa Tagalog, sa Bisaya yun eh.
Parang walang pinagmulan.
Hindi naman,
walang katapusan.
Kasi kung meron kang panukat, hindi mo siya masusukat, kumbaga.
Unmeasurable. So, parang wala siyang katapusan.
Hindi masukat eh.
Walang hangganan, parang kumbaga.
Ang unang-unang sinabi rin, He is unlimited in that He is immutable. Now, when we say immutable, nabanggit mo kanina, immutable, meaning He's not subject to change. Ang Diyos na ipinapahayag namin sa inyo ang isang katangian nito is, He is immutable. He is not subject to change or decay. I-contrast mo ito sa atin. Nung araw, ikaw siguro, Randy, sasabi mo, napakalakas ko, Pero ngayon, sa ating edad, medyo nararamdaman mo na yung...
Signs of progress.
Oo. Hindi. Signs of decay na
Decay na yun.
Signs of decay,
Signs of progress ko tawagin.
Kasi nga, tao tayo. Itong pinag-uusapan natin, Diyos hindi siya nagbabago, immutable. He's not subject to change. Sabi nga ng Malakay 3:6, For I, the Lord, do not change. Therefore you, O sons of Jacob, are not consumed. This does not mean that God is immobile or inactive, na hindi siya gumagalaw. It simply means that God does not change in His being and in His character. And then the next thing they say, Randy, is He is immense. Ang sabi immense para bang napakalaki. He is not limited when it comes to space. Now, what do you know, Randy, of this world na napakalaki? Na mangha tayo na sa sobrang laki. Garganto, ang lalaki na mga bagay-bagay. Now, it is likened here to an attribute of God that He is immense. With reference to space, ang isang bagay medyo occupies a certain portion lang of that space. But when we talk of God's immensity, He occupies everything that space represents.
Yes.
So yun ang ibig sabihin ng He is immense. This is called elsewhere in theology as omnipresence. He's everywhere. Dahil nga, lahat ng, kumbaga, sulok na you can conceive of a space, God occupies that. So, omnipresence ng tao doon. He fills all space and is not bound by space. And then third, He is eternal. Means He is not limited with reference to time. As I said earlier, tayo, finite. Darating ang panahon, magkakaedad siguro ng, 60, 65. Yun na. Tapos ng oras mo. Ika nga, ang Panginoon naman is, He fills all time and is not bound by time.
Space or time.
Space or time. Kanina yung space, immense Ito, time ang And then, nabanggit mo rin kanina, He is incomprehensible. He is not limited by our knowledge. If there is or there are knowledge stored within this gray matter na meron po tayo, hanggang doon lang po ang kaya nating Pero pag sinabi natin yung kaalaman ng ating Panginoon, can never be fathomed by our knowledge. A creature, yung nilikha lamang, hindi kayang arukin,
abutin,
ang incomprehensibility ng Diyos na ito. And then, fifthly, the confession says, He is Almighty. He is not limited with reference to what He can do. In contrast, tayo may limitado yung pwede lang natin gawin, Randy. Kuminsan, ito lang naabot ko sa aking kakayanan, sasabihin natin. But when we talk about God being Almighty, theologians put a term for this also. While there is omnipresence, ito naman, pag sinabi mong Almighty, He's talking about His omnipotence of God. He can do all His holy will, everything He wills to do, He can do. He is not limited by change, time, space, knowledge, power. And then they close yung statement na binasa natin kanina, Randy, mayroon pang karugtong Pambihira naman, ang dami mong binigay sa akin assignment. Pero pag magpapatuloy tayo, merong sinasabi, yung binasa natin kanina. Sabi ron He is most holy. Ano ibig sabihin ito? Most holy. Para we can understand it better. Absolute integrity pala ang ibig sabihin nun, Randy. Sabi ko nga kanina, walang bahid ng kasamaan, walang bahid man ng kasalanan. God cannot do something that is wrong. Actually, He hates everything that is wrong, that is contrary to His character, ika nga, dahil holy nga siya.
Sa kanyang nature.
And then, meron pangalawa, sinasabi, He is most wise daw This has something to do, again, in theology. Kanina, natapos na natin yung omnipotence, omnipresence, omniscience. Most wise Sa atin, pag sinabi natin most wise siguro wise tayo sa isang aspeto lang ng body of knowledge na master tayo. Dito, ang sinasabi regarding God is most wise, omniscience. He knows all things real and things possible. Meron bang taong may katangiang ganon? Sa palagay ko, sa tinagal-tagal ko sa mundong ito, wala pa ako nakitang ganon Dahil yung katangiang yun, omniscience, alam lahat, katangian lamang ng Diyos yun.
Yes.
Okay? And then, He is most free, meaning He can do what He pleases. He's not limited by the rules outside of Himself. Tayo, gumagalaw tayo, lalo na nasa lipunan tayo, pwede lang tayong gumalaw within the bounds of what the state says na pwede natin gawin. Lumabag ka ron, may kapupulutan ka, sabi nga nila. Ang Panginoon naman, dahil most free siya, He is not limited by any rules whatsoever. This has something to do with what you said earlier, Randy, that He's independent of everything. He moves, He exists by Himself. He does not get the dictates, He does not get the counsel of everybody, or anybody, for that matter. He does what He pleases. Yun ang sinasabi ng Bible, madalas
So which means He does not need any support
Yes,
from anybody
yes.
outside of Himself.
Dahil
And He decides all for Himself.
Yes.
Tama ba?
Kasi pag sinabi mong independent, katapos ngayon, sasabihin mo may isang bagay na nangangailangan siya sa'yo, hindi na independent ang tawag doon, dependent ang tawag doon. Maiiba ang kahulugan nung word. And then there's the next. He is absolute. There is none other greater than Him. He is the great end to all existence of Him, and to Him, and through Him are all things. Hence, all glory is to be given Him. Because He is most absolute. Itong most absolute kanina, we're talking about limitations. But this God has no limitations. Kumbaga, umaapaw na beyond the limits that man has. Absolute daw ang Diyos na ito He is most absolute.